wearing a white jacket. You look like a real doctor. You got diplomas and a stethoscope.
Relax. I wasn't going to put you to sleep.
Oh, and what is that supposed to be? Vet humor or something? Look. Now, look. May I please have more coat before your next patient eats it?
Right. Here.
I am 3,000%. I'm moving back to civilization. I'm going to get myself a nice little apartment, watch HBO, and have a real life again.
Hey.
Well, 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 look who's joined us for a change today.
For a change? What are you talking about, Missy?
Well, some of us make others wait when others are waiting to record things.
We could end this right now, right here.
No, it's just beginning. Just the start.
Sounds like a lot of drama.
Oh, there's more drama. And then there's the podcast.
Right?
So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Are we recording yet?
I got to tell you.
We are, yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
are. But are you toggled? You're not toggled. Hold on.
Do it.
I'm going to stop.
Okay.
I'm going to toggle you, and you're going to thank me, and I deserve a tip. Hold on. Now, how do you feel?
No one toggles me like you do. I feel so refreshed.
Not for free.
Checks in the mail.
We say that to everybody. We say that to everybody.
So what's shaking?
I got to tell you, I had a lot of fun preparing for this one because I forgot, and we'll talk about it in a second, but I really had fun preparing, and I pulled so many clips.
Okay.
I basically got a refresher on everything, and yeah, I'm excited. So, but I'm sure you'll tell us in the next segment what we're talking about. So
what
anyway,
we're talking about and how we got here.
Yes, we'll just focus on our toggling for now.
Yes.
Okay. How was your week?
It's good.
Oh,
we had a hell of a weekend of rain.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram,
I did see that.
There were 2 days where I ventured out. One, I got half a block from my place. I was supposed to go meet someone in Chinatown. I was going to take the metro, and I got a half a block away. And then this downpour came that was like out of the movies. It was like torrential rain and wind. And I called him and I said, have you left your house yet? Because if you haven't, please let's reschedule, because I'm not going over there. And then I walked home, and when I got to the corner, it was so much water had fallen. And I guess some of the gutters were a little clogged with leaves and things. Yeah. So the water had no place to go. So basically it was a lake in front of my house. I had to walk through the lake to get back up on the sidewalk. By then my jeans are weighing me down like another 40 pounds. And
well, we had some rain too, but it was nothing close to what you had to deal with. Cause I just, I'm so spoiled over here. It's just like, it's going to rain for 10 minutes. I can't go out. So yeah.
You poor thing. How you get through it, I don't know.
Shall we take anything else? I mean, we had no rain. It's beautiful here. Everything's great.
End of story. No, I want to get talking about a topic. So let's take a little break, come back, and then we'll jump right into it.
Sounds good. We'll see. It's a working title. We're workshopping the title right now. So hi.
Hey.
How are ya?
I'm good. What is your name again?
Don Pfeiffer.
And that would make me Gary Pagaris.
Pagaris, yes. Good
and
job.
Together we are
Don
and Gary doing 60. 3 years. And
I was going to do the intro. Remember, we practiced this apparently. Okay.
Apparently not enough.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Don and Gary podcast. We are here to unpack, unwrap, and navigate the world at this age.
Yes.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube at the Pfeiffer Pod, and that's where you can see all of this and all of that.
Well, maybe not all of it, but
Well,
a lot
enough
of
of it to make it worth your while.
Exactly.
Because we've toggled. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're on Blue Sky, and like Gary says all the time, and loves to make this connection. You can't swing a dead cat without seeing us on some form of social media somewhere. So
exactly.
And also, I almost did it because I remembered I've been editing and I just saw this. Don't forget to visit our web page on Podpage. Yes. And there you can actually leave us messages. You can check out all our previous recordings. You can actually see our shorts that we put on YouTube, and you can leave us voicemail. So we would love it if you go there. If you don't, we're going to come and get you. So please go visit the pod page.
And he means it too.
I do. So Gary, what are we talking about today? I'm very excited. What are we talking about?
All right. So we're talking about a beloved actress who unfortunately passed away towards the end of 2025.
Yes.
But leading up to that, we were approaching year end, and a lot of the award shows do their in memoriam. Mm-hmm. So I Googled, as one does, and I came up with a pretty hefty list of well-known folks who had passed away. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, some were, age appropriate. They were up there. So I'm going to run through them. Okay. June Lockhart was 100 years old.
Oh, June Lockhart.
I don't know if you ever saw a British show on TV called Keeping Up Appearances. The actress who played her, the character was Hyacinth. Her last name was Bucket, but she made it sound, like she was from a better, higher class, so she was Bouquet. That actress was 96. Gene Hackman, 95. Giorgio Armani, 91. Richard Chamberlain, 90. Robert Redford was 89. Anyway, so there's quite a few. I'm not going to go through it, but there were singers. Roberta Flack at 88. Ruth Buzzy at 88. Loretta Swit at 87. And this actress, Diane Keaton, was 79. Unexpected death. Apparently she had some health issues that no one really knew about. So we'll talk about her today. But the Oscars especially, they always do the in memoriam. But this year, especially when it aired, they did like an expanded version of it, if you will, because they focused a little bit on Diane Keaton, a little bit on Robert Redford, on Rob Reiner and his wife, who were killed.
Yeah.
And they did a really nice tribute with him, especially where they, Billy Crystal came out and spoke and talked about several of the more popular movies that he was well known for. And then the curtain came up and actors that appeared in those movies showed up, like Demi Moore and the guys from, now I'm forgetting the name of the first movie he did. Oh my God, like a mockumentary about a rock band.
Oh, Spinal Tap?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Spinal Tap. Anyway, so several of his movies where actors from those movies came in. Misery, so Kathy Bates. So there was quite a lineup. So that was nice. So that made me think about, and you and I were talking, and we both love Diane Keaton, so we thought we would focus on her. And so we've come up with a new segment.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
And
you came up with this.
Yes, I did. Because I do.
Well, you're not getting any more money for it, so just tell us what it is.
So I believe the working title segment for this is At the Movies, and this one will be called Dear Diane.
Yes.
All right.
So, but the segment is At the Movies, right? So we're going to come back and do this a number of times because there are so many people out there. And just really quickly, as you were mentioning those names, it'll be interesting to me to see how many people truly know them that are younger than us. I mean, they've left such a legacy of film and movies and directing, like Rob Reiner's had left us such a legacy of things.
Right.
Would anybody even remember he was on All in the Family?
Exactly.
So it's very interesting.
So that's what prompted this. And so I thought I'd start with a quick bio of Diane.
Sure.
And then you and I talked about chatting about some of our favorite of her movies, 2 or 3 favorites.
Right. We kind of had to limit it to top two because there's so many.
There
And I
are.
went down a rabbit hole getting clips from all these movies. So
Oh
anyway,
my
sorry.
God.
Please go ahead. I've got some factoids to add to your info after you're done.
Okay, great. All right. So as I said, she unexpectedly passed away at the age of 79 in October of 2025. Born and raised in Los Angeles. She's an actress for more than 50 years. She appeared in, according to Google, 62 films. But aside from an actress, she actually directed some films,
Mm-hmm.
and a documentary, and some music videos, including Belinda Carlisle's Heaven is a Place on Earth. She directed a few episodes of some well-known TV shows like China Beach and Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
She was a producer and executive producer. She did appear in some television roles early on in her career as a guest in, like, cops shows and whatever. And then she did a few movies and miniseries. Always known as a fashion icon. She did some singing, and she actually did some singing in some of her movies.
Okay.
I think in one of the movies, she didn't appear as an actress, but they went to a lounge and she was the singer in the lounge.
Really? Like
Yeah.
an uncredited part or something?
Could have been uncredited. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. She got into still photography and did quite a lot with that. She was a real estate developer. I did not know that.
I didn't. I knew she had a great interest in architectural
Yes,
buildings, obviously, that she would like to restore, or she was working on preservation for them.
exactly.
Right.
That's where that led into that. So I think that tied in with her photography too, just taking pictures of these beautiful buildings. Never married, but in her 50s, she adopted a son and a daughter. So she started acting on stage. She was in the original Broadway production of Hair in 1968.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, she started as an understudy, and then she had to step into the role of, and I've never seen it, but I mean, quite controversial at the time because on stage, all or most of the actors had to get nude.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't want to. And they did say it was optional, so you didn't have to, but that was kind of the premise of it. So that was her first Broadway production, was Hair in 1968. She appeared in her first on-screen movie in 1970. She had a small role in a movie called Lovers and Other Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
From her 62 films, you can tell she excelled in both dramatic and comedic roles. She did 8 films with Woody Allen. Played Against Sam, Sleeper, Love and Death, Annie Hall, Interiors, Manhattan, Radio Days, Manhattan Murder Mystery. She won a lead actress Oscar for Annie Hall in 1977, nominated 3 other times for an Oscar. And she won assorted Golden Globes, Screen Actors Guild. She was nominated for a Tony and a couple Emmys. So just the top films, and there were a lot of them. The Godfather 1, 2, and 3, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Reds, Shoot the Moon, Mrs. Soffel, Crimes of the Heart, Baby Boom, that was a popular one, Father the Bride 1, 2, and 3, The Fabulous, The First Wives Club with Goldie Hawn and Bette Midler, Marvin's Room, Something's Gotta Give, one of my favorites that I'll talk about, and The Family Stone, which is another one that I'll talk about. So those are some of the highlights, if you will, and there's a lot of them. So do you have anything to add in terms of?
Apparently not, because you took our ball away from me.
Oh, Don.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. I do have a couple little factoids to do, but I will add something to all the movies that I talk about. And maybe we can do it with you. It's called LKFs, which is little known facts.
Okay.
With the actual movie. But I guess the one thing that you didn't get, you covered it very well. So thank you for that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
But just so I can add that you're correct. She did 62 movies. There's a lot of information we could gather that were the same thing. So the other thing that you didn't mention was the top grossing movies that she was in. Was Something's Gotta Give was her top grossing movie.
Okay.
The Godfather was number 2, believe it or not. The First Wives Club was number 3. Godfather Part 3 was number 4. Family Stone was number 5. And The Father of the Brides were 6 and 7. And you're never going to believe this, because as much as we love Diane, I think I reminded you about this. One time you and I went to a movie of hers in San Francisco. And they can't all be winners, right?
Right.
There's sometimes you make a dog of a movie, and it actually, Because I Said So was the movie, because I did look it up. And I remember we were looking at each other going like, oh, Diane, maybe not this time. But that was actually the eighth top grossing film that she did, probably because it was done in the middle 2000s, early 2000s, and Mandy
Okay.
Moore was in it, and there was a lot of name recognition. So, we do love her, and that's why we're speaking about her. And sometimes they don't, I'm sure a lot of people did love that movie because it was up there in the top 10 with top grossing. So people went to see it. But I remember you and I coming out going, maybe not.
Not this
Maybe
time.
not this time, Diane. But
Well, yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry. The reason why we're talking about her too is because she is some people do not care for her acting style because she's very, she seems to be very, off the cuff, and she does a lot of improvisation, it seems like.
Right.
But I think a lot of it, I couldn't tell if a lot of it is. I know Woody Allen films are sometimes very, they let them take a lot of leeway with the script and work around that. But I mean, many times, I love her because she's so quirky. I love her fashion style. She brought back like basically taking menswear and taking that and there's a reason for it, which I'll share at the end about the little known facts about her. But there's reasons, but she was so iconic because she had her own style. She had the hat, she had the big belt around her waist all the time, oversized jackets. Iconic. And I know the
Gloves. She was
kids,
big on gloves.
yes, and the
Yeah.
children love to use that word, but I truly believe that because of her legacy and all the information you gave us, she truly is iconic because of the number of years she was in the business. She was her own person. She
Yeah.
was definitely had her personality that you could see in every single film she did. Maybe when she was doing, because I'm not sure where the first Godfather movie, but that was a long time ago, actually.
That was in the early
that was-
70s.
Yes. So, I'm sure she was following the script and trying to do a good job as one of her first big roles. But later on, you could see that the other films are definitely got her persona all over it. So
Right.
I do truly love her. I truly love watching her. As we said, there's sometimes the movie's not something to my personal liking, but overall, I got to say most every film that I see her in, I truly enjoy. So anyway.
Yeah, I think the fact she was 79, so it was pretty young, and it was unexpected. So that was the other thing that I think when she passed away, you're always sad when someone that you admire or like their work, they pass away. But in her case, there was a little bit more of a connection, I think,
Yes.
that, people really appreciate her. So yeah, that's why I'm glad that we start with her. And we will talk about other artists in the episodes to come. But this is the first one to jump it off. So with that, I'll start with one of her famous lines, la dee da, la dee da.
What's that from?
Annie Hall.
Oh, Annie Hall.
I didn't pick that as one of my 2 or 3 we're going to talk about, but do you want to talk about one of your films that you liked?
Well, I do, but I think I want to kind of say that the interesting thing, and I'm leaving one out because we decided to go for top 2, but I have to say these 2 films, one that I won't speak at length about, were truly comfort movies for me. We all have those movies that we come back to all the time, and I actually owned these movies on VHS, and I would watch them constantly. And whenever I was watching regular television, which I never do anymore, whenever those films came on, I truly was obsessed with them. And the one that I'm going to leave off, but won't go into too much depth with, was Crimes of the Heart.
Okay.
Now, the thing about that film, and I'll give you some quick ones. I know I'm not going to go into depth with it, but it was truly, again, one of those ones I had always at the ready with my VHS, because I could put that film on and remember it for its quirkiness. It actually had Diane Keaton, of course, but it also included Sissy Spacek and Jessica Lange.
Oh yeah, wow.
Major actors out there in the world. And it was a 1986 film based on a play that was on Broadway. And it was just a quirky, how people like to talk about quirky Southern families. Yeah. Basically, it was that the premise was that the youngest character, played by Sissy Spacek, shot her husband because he was abusive to her. But the other thing was that Diane Keaton, of course, played the spinster sister, who was very quirky and erratic and jumpy. And Jessica Lange played the little, world-weary actress out in the world who came back to town because she she didn't make it. Somebody else that came in and will come up in another movie was Sam Shepard,
Yeah.
who was at the time married to Jessica Lange, and Jessica Lange was actually pregnant with her second child while filming that movie.
Okay.
So Sam Shepard shows up in another movie that I'm going to talk about later. But again, the quirkiness about it was funny because they talked about their mother who had committed suicide, but also the cat committed suicide. And it sounds worse than it is, but
Not a laughing matter.
But this film is so fun and quirky. Tess Harper, if you're familiar with her, is a wonderful character actor. They call her Chick the Stick. And and there's a scene where Diane Keaton actually chases her around the room with a broom. And the big thing is that they're coming back they come back as a family, and they're dealing with this as a family, dealing with, of course, their family's idiosyncrasies. But it's just one of those good films at the end. It had a very typical ending where everything ends up in they have a birthday cake. But again, I truly love that film. It's something I come back to all the time. An amazing cast. It's so fun to see these actors in their primes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 86, so that was a chunk of time ago.
Yeah.
But again, sorry, I had to mention it as a.
No, it's fine. I mean, it was hard to limit it as you go through all the films. Like
really was.
Some I'd seen a long time ago. Some of these, and I've never seen. But
me too. Me too.
Yeah. So, which one do you want to talk about, or should I?
Why don't you go ahead, since I spewed a little bit about that one? Why don't you take off your first one?
Well, I picked 3 as well, but I will drop one off.
You can talk about the one you dropped off if you want.
The one I dropped off was early 1982, Shoot the Moon, a heavy drama, family drama. She co-stars with Albert Finney as her husband, and from they live in Marin County. So there's some filming in Marin and San Francisco. You can tell from the very beginning of the movie that their marriage is not in a good place. And they have 4 young daughters, the oldest of which is an actress named Dana Hill, who I don't know much about her now, but back then she was a pretty popular young actress. And she's the oldest of the 4 daughters, and is the one who has like the most dramatic part because she's older. She's, I'm going to guess, 12 or 13. So she's old enough to understand what's going on between her parents and their marriage. And you can see the tension between her and her father. And it's not an easy film to watch because it's about divorce and how it impacts the kids. And it's a tough subject, but she did an amazing job in it. So Karen Allen plays his love interest. Peter Weller plays her love interest. And just the whole family drama. The little trivia is I don't know if she's the youngest, but of the 4 daughters, one of the younger ones is an actress, Tina Yothers, who was more famous on Family Ties.
Yes.
She was the younger daughter.
Wow.
The blonde one whose character name I can't remember right now. But it was fun to see her. I mean, she must have been like 7 or 8 years old in the movie.
And here's what I love about researching these, because I did take a look at some clips from that film, and it was like, I have to see that. I need to see that film because it was really, it was done at the time, was it 80s?
82.
82. So around the same time they were talking about these other films, but I have to say I was really intrigued by it because it looked like a good film, a little tough to watch, but good film.
Because there's just a lot of what I guess, rawness to it because they're just, they're so hurt and angry with each other. And how do they navigate that? And then how the kids see that and take that in. So it was a tough one to watch, but it was good.
And
so
not a role you would typically see her in because you always think of her as this quirky, light, bubbly rom-com kind of actress, right? So yeah, that's why I would like to see her. Sorry,
which leads me to what I consider one of my favorites, and you said is one of her top moneymakers, is Something's Gotta Give. 2003. So she plays a playwright and divorced mom. She has an adult daughter who they live in New York, but she has a house, like an amazingly gorgeous house in the Hamptons.
I remember it.
Frances McDormand plays her sister, plays Diane's sister in it. Amanda Peet plays her daughter. And the movie starts out where the daughter is dating Jack Nicholson, a much older man who his character, he's like a record executive, lots of money, but I don't know if he's ever been married, but his thing is like he likes dating him young. And so Diane Keaton's daughter is one of them, of a long list of young women he's dated. But he never commits to any of them. You know, it's like a fling and then he moves on. And so the movie starts where Amanda Peet and Jack Nicholson head to the house to spend the weekend in the Hamptons. And then Diane Keaton shows up unexpectedly because she wants to go and write because she's working on her next piece. And he has some health issues. He can't leave the area. Oh, and Keanu Reeves makes a really good role as a doctor and a love interest because he's totally fascinated with the Diane Keaton character. A big fan of hers and her work. I've seen everything you've done. And he's like fawning over her. So it's a very sweet romantic comedy, and that quirkiness that you talk about in her, you know, she has that. She's got her comedic moments.
I'm sorry. I apologize about the near arrest.
Oh, you were very impressive. Very strong. Very, macho.
I don't think it was exactly macho.
Trust me, if I ever catch a guy in his underwear in my refrigerator, I hope I'm half the man you were, Mrs.
Right, okay, whatever.
The interplay between her and Jack Nicholson is great. She's in her 50s in the movie, like mid 50s, and he's 63 in the movie. And one of the things it was an interview, came out in, I forget what publication, but initially Nancy Myers is the one who I think wrote and directed it. And she said studios initially passed on the project with the director recalling that no one wanted to see people of a certain age be sexy. Keaton told Ladies' Home Journal, let's face it, people my age and Jack's age are much deeper, much more soulful because they've seen a lot of life. They have a great deal of passion and hope. Why shouldn't they fall in love? Why shouldn't movies show that? So there was resistance at first, like nobody's going to watch this, and it ended up being a hit for her. And I think she got nominated for an Oscar for that. I forget.
That was her #1 grossing film that I mentioned earlier.
And she says, and her favorite movie that she made.
Oh, really? Did she say that? I didn't know that. Okay. Because I got to say, looking at the clips, I do have a fabulous clip for us to share with that because she is a playwright and she cries when she writes, doesn't she?
Yes.
We'll wait till you see that.
So it's a fun movie. So it's a fun movie. It's very romantic. And then they also shoot some scenes in Paris because she wants to go spend her birthday there. So she goes with Keanu Reeves, and then Jack Nicholson shows up unexpectedly, and there's this awkwardness. It's a very, very sweet movie. So that's the basic premise. You know, it's just a really sweet. I have it on DVD. So I watched it the other day. I hadn't seen it in a while, but it's one of those movies that I would watch over and again.
Yeah, and I got to say, going back to the clips, I did see it initially in the theater, I think, but I'm going to actually pull it out tonight, I think, and watch it because I forgot how funny it is, and there's a lot of interchanges with she and Jack Nicholson when they're kind of sparring a little bit, and she's like speaking French in some grocery store or something, and she's talking about rap music, and so there's some good stuff in there. And what's the other? Oh, Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
Is in there,
and she's sister in it. And normally the roles, I've not seen many of her movies, but she, you know, plays like this rough, gruff, hard edge character. And this one, she's very sweet, and you know, she's of course pushing Keanu and Keaton together.
And he's adorable in this film.
He's
saw the
very
clip,
adorable.
like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's not a character he would normally play either, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some. You know, he was the movie Sandra Bullock where they're on the bus. He was very good in that. He did a movie with Patrick Swayze where he's a like an FBI guy who goes undercover. He was very good in that. So he's done a lot of good roles, but this one he doesn't do, like you said, a lot of like romantic comedy movies. I mean, so different from like The Matrix, for example. Right. But yeah, I thought the whole cast was really good in this. So that would be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll end it right there on that one.
Okay. But that, yeah, I loved it after I saw the clips, and I loved the clips, and I'm going to
Yeah.
include that in one of our reels or part of this because they're too good not to show, especially
Yeah.
the crying. She's amazing. I love her in this, but she's truly being herself, I think, also on
Yeah.
top of her character. But actually, I forgot to mention, there are a couple scenes where she's, and I don't want to give it away. Well, we can give it away. She's truly in love with Jack Nicholson, and Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson doesn't want to be with her. And she literally tells him this is what heartbroken looks like.
Right.
And it's just, oh my gosh, it was so, at the time, it was really sad. So amazing, amazing, almost tearjerker film, but great entertainment. Loved her in it. So
And
good.
it was age appropriate for their roles, right?
Absolutely.
He
Absolutely.
played a 63-year-old who liked dating younger women, and that was like maybe similar to him in life, right?
Yep.
But the two of them paired well together. I don't know if they've ever worked together, but they paired really well together.
Mhm.
And the material just suited them.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think it just had a lot of bonus points for me. But very funny, very touching, very romantic, very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely one of my top favorites.
Okay. Well, we'll go to my next one, which is going to say my number one favorite. I must say, although through all of her films, there's a lot more I need to see, but I am addicted to and still have a copy of Baby Boom from 1987. She is, to me, there's so many iconic lines in there too. It's an 80s film, but again, I think that was one of her prime movies. It didn't show up on the top 10 list, but it was a really well-received film. It also included Harold Ramis, Sam Shepard again, who plays a doctor, and a young James Spader, who plays this like assistant inside of her advertising or the company that she works for. She's basically called the Tiger Lady, and she wears the big shoulder pads, and it's very 80s into 90s fashion. The big belt, very much her iconic Diane self, but she looks like obviously a powerful person in the New York fast lane, making lots of money. They basically have no time for children. They live in a very high up, a huge apartment, lots of artwork in there. And all of a sudden she discovers that she inherited something from one of her cousins that she hadn't seen back in the 60s. And when there's a scene where she actually comes to pick it up, she's signing for it. So what I get is $1 million. And it ends up being a baby.
A baby.
She's like, no, I don't have a baby. I've got a 12:30 appointment. I can't have a baby right now. So
I did see it when it first came out. So how is it that she got the baby? Did
she
a relative pass away?
Her relative passed away, and part of the will stated that since she's the only next of kin, that she would take the child. And she didn't really read that. She just thought it was money or something, and they didn't really state it. So there's a little fuzziness in that part of it. But again, she and Harold Ramis live in a very beautiful high-rise on Fifth Avenue. Everything's pristine. Everything's gorgeous. And all of a sudden, she decides to put the baby up for adoption. And she at the very end, because the baby is very much attached to her, and she takes it to the adoption agency, and she's ready to go. And then she hears the baby crying, and she walks out the door. And of course, the next scene, she comes back out. She's got the baby in her arms. She's walking out of the huge Fifth Avenue business office, and she's just looking at her saying, "Hey, don't expect a lot from me, kid."
Huggies, super trim, okay, large, 23 ounces and over. Hey, a medium, 12 to 24 pounds, and newborn is up to 14 pounds. Okay, so you're not newborn, are you? How much do you weigh anyway? 22 pounds. Okay.
Back, and basically what happens is she finds that, at the time there's a big message in the 80s and 90s that women can have it all and do everything. And this is still at the end part of the message. But at this time, basically she finds that she can't really take care of the baby, run her work the way she wants to. And basically they take her off accounts and they try and give her something, but she literally says, nope. And she's always been looking at a farmhouse in Vermont. So she actually takes the baby and goes to Vermont, minus her boyfriend. And of course, the farmhouse in Vermont has huge amounts of things wrong with it. There's there's a great scene, which I will put in here too, about how she gets yepped and noped from all the locals because everybody's like, you can get there from here. And there's a lot of that. And she just likes, if you yep me or nope me one more time, and then she passes out next to a well. It's all
I'm
good.
gonna get out of here. You see, I need to work. I need people. I need a social life. I need sex.
Please, I'm a married man.
I'm gonna shrivel up and die here. I mean, how much painful is a person supposed to be able to make in their lifetime? I mean, I am a career woman. I am used to having phone lists and dinner meetings. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I have been yucked and noped to death by you guys. I have had it with whiskers and plaid. Look at me. I am going nuts. I used to be cute. I'm not prepared for wells to run dry. I just want to turn on the faucet and have water. I don't want to know where it's coming from. Another 6,000.
But it's a wonderful scene of her. And of course, like I said, Sam Shepard's in there, who of course plays a vet. And she goes in there because she's had some kind of a breakdown after this scene that I just spoke about. And she goes into an office, and of course there's Sam Shepard with a white, whatever you call the smock or whatever, and a stethoscope around him. And she's talking to him, and she's like, letting those and saying, I just want to go back, and I'm really sad, and I'm kind of lonely. And all of a sudden she turns around and a horse walks in, and she's like, what kind of doctor are you? And he's a vet. He's the only doctor in town. And a horse walks in, and she starts running around, and then she turns around, and of course she opens up the curtain, and this huge pig on an operating table. So she freaks out. But it's wonderful because she does eventually, of course, like all rom-coms, she falls for the doctor. Of course, she hates him at first, but then they, of course, work through it.
Of course.
And the interesting thing, too, it's a very quick turn, is that, she was a business person, right? So there's nothing to do during the winter except can fruit. And she has an orchard of apples. So basically, she makes baby sauce or baby applesauce during the winter, and she ends up having like jars and jars and jars and jars of this stuff, and she takes it to the local store. And all these these New Yorkers come in for the weekend to Vermont because that's what they do, and they say, oh, what a cute baby, oh, what a great idea, you should make this, you should do this. And all of a sudden she gets the idea that I'm going to market this stuff because no one has this niche in the food market. Eventually she builds the business, it gets to become taken. And of course, the company that fired her wants her to come back and rep the baby food company business. And she basically turns it down and goes back to her farm in Vermont with Sam Shepard and the baby. And it's just really, and she does get to have it all because she can run her business, she can have her family, she can have a love interest at the same time. So she can have it all. So it's a really, really great message of a movie too.
Nice.
And I do have some LKFs, which is little known facts about it real quick. Basically, this movie was kind of what people are saying was the premise for the Hallmark movie formula, where there's something happens to the person, they fall out of favor, they go and take care of a business or create a new business and come back and they fall in love and everybody ends up happily ever after. Believe it or not, there was a spin-off from this movie called Baby Boom with Kate Jackson from Charlie's
Another movie or a TV series?
A TV series. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a TV series that came out of it for 1 year. It didn't last very long, but it was Joey Behar was in it too, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. So
I do remember a TV series. I just didn't remember who starred in it. So it's
yes, it didn't ill-fated. I guess it wasn't the right genre for TV at the time, but yeah. And the only other thing I had about that was that the actual baby who were played by twins, came back, and there was a reunion 30 years, because it's been, I think, 30 some odd years since that movie came out, and the twins are all grown up and they came and met her. They're beautiful young ladies. And it was funny because the one last thing is that whenever the babies were handed off to another actor, they would start to cry. They got so attached to Diane that they just didn't want to be held by anybody else. So again, my absolute favorite movie of hers. I love her in it. I love how she dresses. I love how she acts. There's so many good scenes from that. So yeah, that would be my number one.
Nice.
What's yours?
All right. Well, Something's Gotta Give was my number one. So my other one is one I'd not seen before, but it was made around the same time as Something's
Okay.
Gotta Give. It's a holiday movie called The Family Stone from
Mm.
2005. I'd heard about it, and I've heard that it's one of those holiday movies that people see every year. For whatever reason, I'd never seen it.
Really?
And so I saw it the other night here on TV, and I was amazed first just by the cast.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Diane Keaton, she's the mother. The father is Craig T. Nelson. They have 5 children, among them the actors Rachel McAdams, Dermot Mulroney, and Luke Wilson. The other daughter and son, I don't know their work, and the names didn't ring a bell. And then Sarah Jessica Parker plays the love interest of the Dermot Mulroney character.
Mm-hmm.
And they said she was filming this movie at the same time as she was still doing Sex and the City.
Yeah.
And she said she wanted to do a different character than what people had seen her for years in that role. So her character is this tightly wound, uptight, closed off, not very likable character at all. But Dermot Mulroney's like, she's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought her to the family home, again, some gorgeous home in like Vermont or Connecticut or somewhere for the holidays to spend with the family. He's very close with the family. They always get together on the holidays. I guess a few of them hadn't met her before, like in the city, and weren't really pleased, weren't really happy with her. And like, she's not right for you. So there's that tension. So she's feeling uncomfortable already meeting the rest of the family. So she invites her sister, who's played by Claire Danes, to come and spend Christmas with her there. So she's staying at the hotel in town. And so she's mixing in. So there's a lot of tension. There's some drama. There's some comedy. One of the sons is gay and deaf. And that becomes, those two issues alone, being gay and being deaf, become fodder for some tension and some drama at the dinner table one night, where Sarah Jessica's character is just like, shut up.
I know the thing. I got to say, I have to give her credit because there are some very tightly cringy moments of things that she says that are so inappropriate for the family. I remember, I actually have that scene in my mind because I saw it today, where she says what she says, and she's just so, Sarah Jessica, I think, is just so uptight and so awkward in those situations that the family is very loving and so sweet to each other.
I mean, the whole family, there are a lot to take together as one big bunch, right?
Yes.
So I can understand her character's trepidation and like, you don't know everyone, and you're not just like going to visit for a dinner. You're staying for like a long weekend or something over the holidays. So she gave up other plans, and she's very in her whatever she does for work, she's very busy and like always on the phone. So that was hard for her character to get away from work and then spend, I don't know, 3-4 days, whatever it was, in this home with the whole family where they're all around her and she can't breathe. So I mean, I can understand where she could, have some trepidation, but they're funny, they're quirky, they're on top of each other, they're in each other's business. And you see how some of the dynamics change. She likes Luke Wilson, was one of the other brothers. And then when Dermot Mulroney meets her sister Claire Danes, he's like, oh. And the rest of the family's like, he's the one you should marry. We like her. So there's this, topsy-turvy thing going on in the house. And then there's the not a secret, but the drama that not everyone knows about, that I didn't know about until you watched the movie. But it's 21 years old, so I didn't give it away, is that the Diane character movie, before the movie starts, has had breast cancer. And she's in remission, but then as the family gathers, the cancer's back. So by the time the movie ends, they jump ahead to a year later, the next Christmas, they all get together and you see who's paired off with who. And Diane's character's not there. She has passed away in that year. So having seen that, after her in real life passing away recently, it kind of, everything started connecting.
There's some gut-wrenching moments in that, and I
Yeah.
mean that in a very good way. I mean, how powerful the movie was to me, especially the scene where after Sarah Jessica mentions the part about not wishing to have a gay child,
Right.
where she gets so it almost makes me cry when I think about it, because it made me cry when I saw that, because she her deaf son, who can read lips, who knows what Sarah Jessica's saying, and also Craig T. Nelson, who basically tells her to be quiet.
Yeah.
She then, because he's not looking at her, she throws a fork at his plate, and she signs to him how much she means to me, how much she means to the family, and how
Right.
he is normal and there's nothing wrong with him. And it's just
Right.
a heart-wrenching moment.
Yeah. It's a
And it's
great,
her
great scene.
being her again,
Yeah.
because she's doing it the way she would do it, the way
Yeah.
she would deliver a line.
And you are more normal than any other asshole sitting at this table.
Deliver a line. And then there's another scene where Claire Danes tries to say something, and she just says, knock it off, enough. I've had enough. So I can see where, the two characters out of the family are trying to be perfect or trying to be good for them. But we're going to get to the Dermot Mulroney scene too, where she tells him, stop trying to be perfect. You don't need to marry someone.
Sick, honey. And you can't fix it. Not even by getting married. I know this is probably a tall order, but I need you to do me a favor and try not to be so perfect. All right?
Perfect.
I'd hate to see you miss out on something.
You don't need to marry someone to be perfect, and you can't fix this
Right.
by getting married.
Right.
It's like, oh my God. I was just like, ugh. It's such a good film and so powerful.
Yeah.
I truly loved that.
It just, when you think of a family, a holiday movie,
Yes.
this definitely has a twist on it, because it's not what I expected, because I didn't know anything about it going into it.
Oh, yeah. And
Right. So I'm watching it all firsthand as it's happening.
yes. So this was the first time you'd seen it? All the
Right.
way through. Well, I'm sure it'll be one of your favorites again. So it's like,
Yeah. It was, I was, I think, most impressed by the number of recognizable actors that were in there. Just to see that ensemble of everyone playing off each other, and whether there's a dramatic moment or comedic moment, they all just did really well. Rachel McAdams, who played her daughter, I sent you the clip from this year's Academy Awards when they did the In Memoriam, and she spoke for Diane, and I thought her tribute was really, really sweet.
Yes.
And very genuine, and made me tear up.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm not going to try and replicate what she said, but I would say go on YouTube, look up this year's Academy Awards for 2025, and look for the tribute to Diane Keaton. And Rachel McAdams did an amazing job in that. So, yeah.
And if you want a good cry, watch the whole movie. And if you want a little cry, just go look it up on Instagram and just pull the moments out when she's actually speaking and doing her thing, Diane, in that movie. That's the other scene that I recall, is when Sarah Jessica actually gives the family framed pictures of her. And there's a part where Rachel McAdams is actually she's pregnant with Rachel McAdams' character.
Right.
And she tells Sarah Jessica Parker, like, you did good. Like, by giving this gift to everybody, everyone was so touched. It's another cry moment. It's like, oh my God, there's so many moments in there. We're just like, oh, it's such a good film.
Yeah.
I loved this film.
Yeah. So it was definitely, I very much enjoyed it. I mean, I love a good cry. So
oh yes,
if if I watch a movie and I have no problem, no shame in crying, because it touches you in some way, right? I mean, you connect with something about it.
Yes. And she's so good in it. She's just so bloody good in it. So there
you have it. So that was my number 2.
Okay. So on a lighter note, my number 2, which is another film that maybe not a lot of people know about, but I remember seeing, and I actually looked it up again. It's called 5 Flights Up.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Diane Keaton and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, wow.
And it's it's a wonderful, lovely film. It was done in 2014. And basically, the premise is Diane Keaton and Morgan Freeman are a couple that have been together in a Brooklyn apartment for about 40 years.
Okay.
And it's kind of it doesn't go into the normal tropes of people having dementia or aging out. It's basically how they're dealing with society now. And also, the fact is they live in a 5-flight walk up in Brooklyn,
Mm.
no elevator,
Yeah.
5-flight. They have a dog named Dorothy. And and the dog was a gift, of course, from Morgan Freeman, who is an artist, who paints, who loves the light inside this beautiful old walk-up that they've lived in for, as I said, 40 years. The reality is they're in their 70s. So walking up 5 flights of stairs is harder. Obviously, it's hard for me right now, and I'm only 47. So imagine what it's going to be like. I'm only 47. I'm only anyway.
Yeah,
Yes,
keep
yes.
saying
Well,
it.
sorry, but again, it's the normal things as we age. All the normal things come up. Living in Brooklyn, it might not be as safe as it used to be. There's a lot of things going on in the world. So basically, they decide or tried to decide if they should sell the apartment and move to Manhattan to a much smaller place where it could be cleaner. They'd have an elevator, it'd be in a co-op, much easier way to get around than getting on the train and going into the city or whatever. So they play around with this idea and they meet the real estate agent, very pushy lady who's played by Cynthia Nixon from
Oh,
Sex
okay.
and the City.
Yeah.
So she's really pushing to do that. And of course, there's a scene where they have an open house and everyone makes fun of the house like it's living in my grandma's house. And there's a little kid playing with the light switches and everyone's, making fun of the house, basically. So they're and Morgan Freeman's character, I should have said, does not want to move. He doesn't want, but Diane Keaton wants to try and see if this would work for them because she realizes that he's having a hard time,
Yeah.
but he's still painting. So again, but the thing is, the wonderful thing about this is they have their routine, they have their neighbors. Like any of us who've lived in a neighborhood for a number of years, you establish routines and friendships and, neighbors that, you know well and some you don't know well, but you get used to it. And of course, there's Dorothy the dog, who plays a little pivotal role because she ends up getting sick, and it's very expensive for them to take care of this dog. And so they didn't know what was wrong with her. But again, Dorothy was a gift from Morgan Freeman to Diane Keaton's character, so it means a lot to them. And then they're trying to be practical because what happens to Dorothy is, he said last time we took her, it cost us $700 to find out she had gas. So this time they found out that she had a herniated disc. And it was going to be about $10,000 to do the operation on Dorothy, who's a little bit older too. But it comes down to basically Morgan Freeman says it doesn't matter how much it costs, take care of Dorothy. That's because she's basically part of their family.
What's wrong? Maybe we should take her to the vet?
Remember last year? It cost us $700 to find out she had gas. Is that expensive?
Around $1,000.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I just have to be ready for the worst. She's 10 years old.
You're older than her in dog years.
Thanks.
What is it gonna be? So much. What are her odds? 60-40?
The operation will be at least $10,000.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Listen, I want you to do whatever's necessary to save Dorothy. The money doesn't matter.
Okay.
She walked.
She walked.
So they make a decision to do that. At the end of the day, they decide not to move. They decide to stay because, like any of us, they love where they live. They'll deal with it as it comes. They're going to stay together. They're not going to give up this life that they have to move.
Just make me realize that we're just like everybody else today. Why are we moving? Haven't we built a good life?
I just want what's best for you and us.
It was worth it if only for that. Maybe one day we'll sell, stop climbing the stairs. But for now, we'll just deal with what is.
To move to a new place. So basically, it was really just a wonderful film. It's a small film. Not a lot of people saw it, I don't think. Some little known facts about it was that Diane Keaton said that she loved kissing Morgan Freeman on film more than anyone else she's ever kissed.
Wow.
They're both actually, you mentioned before, which I didn't realize this, that she and Morgan are both mentioned as singers in their film. They sang songs and were given credits for it.
Oh, I didn't know he sang.
I didn't either, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they sang in the background or something, but they were given credits for that too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, and this story from her kissing Morgan Freeman came on a Jimmy Kimmel Live where he's like, "Oh, I didn't know about that," and he started talking about how to kiss people. So I thought that was, but again, really cute film. I'm sure you would enjoy it. I think people would love it.
Well, I wrote it
It's
down because I'd not heard of
yeah.
it.
It's a good film. It's not, I won't say melancholy. It's not poignant. It's poignant in points, but it's also basically a very good heartfelt story because this couple has decided to stay together, stick it through, take care of their dog, and continue their way of life that they find is the most enjoyable rather than making huge adjustments. So not everything has to pivot in people's lives. Sometimes you can carry on or muddle through it. So again, great film. Love it. I highly recommend it.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we did good. I mean, we picked some good films. There was a lot to pick from, so it's hard to narrow it down.
There's still more too. There's more
Yeah.
too. You want to know a couple more little known facts?
Sure.
You hit on a lot, so you've got a lot of it.
Do it.
You talked about their adoption. She adopted kids at 50, you said, I think, right?
Yeah, in her 50s. Didn't say what, but in her 50s, yeah.
Yes. She was the real life Annie Hall. Her name was actually based on Annie, which is her nickname, and her surname is actually Hall. So that character, did you mention that one? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, in real life, Diane Keaton was born Diane Hall.
Ah, there you go.
But when she went to get her actors, whatever, she couldn't use Diane Keaton or Diane Hall because there was an actress already named that in the industry. So she used Keaton as her mother's maiden name.
Ah, okay.
So that's how she got her acting name, but her real name is Diane Hall.
She dated Al Pacino for 16 years. They met on the set of Godfather 1, and they dated for 16 years after that. And she kept asking him to marry her. He kept saying no, and they finally broke up. But I do believe he's mentioned her a number of times, fondly, about how great she was. And of course, they never did marry. And she's actually has never married. But she last mentioned in 2023 that she was on a no dating streak, and she hadn't been on a date in roughly 35 years. So
sounds like me.
Right. Shut up. About the way she dresses. She actually dealt with skin cancer quite a bit in her past, and she had some issues with her neck, and she covers up a lot, not just to protect, but she wears a hat most of the time.
Right.
And she does cover up her neck and turtlenecks quite a bit. And that actually is part of the carryover from her dealing with scarring. Perhaps there's some issues with her skin.
Oh, interesting.
From skin cancer. And then, I got one last one, which is a funny one. And basically it was that I didn't know this, Justin Bieber and she shared an affection for one another, and they talked about each other on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And at the end of the day, actually, he asked her to be in one of his videos in 2021 called Ghost. And she plays a grandmother in a Justin Bieber video, which is just, I would never have thought of that too. But again, all these little known things.
Well, since you mentioned the way she dresses in the movie, Something's Gotta Give, it's summer when they're filming and they're in the Hamptons.
Right.
And Jack Nicholson makes a point of commenting that why are you wearing turtlenecks? It's the summer. And that was, she always wore like light colored clothes. And she liked the turtleneck, but that was just her character, how she liked to dress. And he just couldn't figure that out because he's like, it's summer. What are you doing? Yes. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah. So again, huge love for Diane Keaton. It's very sad that she passed away recently, but again, such a amazing legacy of work.
Right.
Iconic individual. Did so many things. I'm looking forward to look at some of her books. Didn't realize how many books she had out.
Yeah, I saw this one book that she wrote, but then I knew of another one that she wrote, and I want to say it was about her brother or her relationship with her brother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I thought I had it at one point, but I can't find it.
Oh, the book? Like the title?
Yeah. It was a book that she wrote about her brother.
Okay.
Because I think I wanted to give it to a friend of mine.
Oh, Brother and Sister. Actually, it's called Brother and Sister.
Okay.
A memoir. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now I want to see. And she also has like books on photographs, and she's an amazing. I want to call her like an everyman, but like a Renaissance person. They do a little bit of everything.
I think her love of self-photography, and then like you said, her love of architecture and preserving old buildings.
Yeah.
Those two kind of came together, and through one or the other, she did, maybe not by herself, but she helped put together some books
Yeah.
on those two subject matters,
Yeah.
photography and architecture.
Yeah.
And was very involved in that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think good job, Gary. This was such a good idea. I mean, it's heartfelt love for this person, Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
Just an amazing person, left in, like I said, a lot of good memories that we can continue to watch on TV.
Well, and that's the beauty of it, right?
VHS.
All of this is on DVD or streaming to revisit them or watch them for the first time. So
Yes, and thank you for coming up with this idea. I love this segment. We're going to do it a number of times because there's so many people to talk about, right?
yeah, so it'll be more segments of at the movies, and then we'll fill in the blank. And it could be like a Rob Ryan who directed so many great films, or it could be someone who's done a little both. I mean, there's Robert Redford who's directed and acted. There's Meryl Streep. As we're talking, I'm thinking Michelle Pfeiffer is in a lot of things now. So
yes,
I love her career. So yeah, there's a lot of folks out there that we can definitely focus on. So
yeah, so good job. Do you want to close us out? Are you okay closing us out?
I think we can. So when you're not watching movies, you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube. Obviously, social media, Instagram, Facebook. We're on Blue Sky. Our website is hosted by Podpage. I gotta work on that.
I did too, because I don't know which way I'm pointing at, but that's okay. We'll get it.
And on that Podpage site, you can view past episodes. You can leave a voicemail message. You can send us an email. That is Don and Gary doing 60 at gmail.com. I had to think about it for a minute. Everything is Don and Gary. Everything
Don and Gary.
Yeah, so I think we covered all the platforms. Did I miss any platforms?
No, I think you got it all. I mean, it's easy to find us once you just Google it. Google it.
Yes.
You can find us. We're everywhere.
And so we look forward. We'll be recording a couple more episodes this week. We're doing another segment called, and here's why I want to ask you to do a sound effect. So when we say the next segment, I asked you a question, I want that to be like echoey.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I can do that.
So work on that. That'll be an assignment. So we have another segment that I came up with called, Don and Gary doing 60. I asked you a question. And we'll focus on different topics just to peel back the onion. Who are Don and Gary? So that's kind of where that came from. Peel away.
Yes, so you're so
and then we
smart.
have other guests coming.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're pumping it out. We are just pumping.
Pumping it out.
Pump up the jam. Yeah.
Well, season 3, we gotta keep going and get.
We gotta make it work.
Drive.
I'm tired.
And they don't know this, but we're recording another episode tomorrow.
Yes. So we're not highly paid for nothing. We don't. The money doesn't roll in for nothing. We got to keep it working like the hamster
Wait,
wheel.
you get paid?
Anyway, thank you for tuning in to Don and Gary doing 60. No, but good job, Gary. Thank you so much. This was such good ideas. I love them. They're so exciting to go forward with, and I think that our listeners and watchers will enjoy them too. So
yes,
I don't care what everybody says about you. You're really talented.
That's very sweet, you son of a...
Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye. Bye.